If you could please subscribe, it would mean a lot to me. It helps the channel out and motivates me to keep making videos like this. Well, we're getting off topic, so let's get back on track. The legal concept of kidnapping generally involves unlawfully taking or confining someone against their will, and when we look at what we're doing here in Minecraft, putting a villager in a boat and taking them away from their village, the comparison becomes pretty obvious. We can then lock that villager inside a tiny trading hall, surround them with blocks, and make sure they have no way out. Restricting someone's freedom of movement without lawful justification is what we'd associate with unlawful confinement. Can give a villager a profession, lock them inside a trading hall, and repeatedly use their trades to make emeralds. If we were doing this to a real person against their will, this could be considered forced labor. Villagers work hard to grow their crops on their farms, but we can simply walk in and take everything they've grown. Taking someone else's property without their permission is the basic idea behind theft. We can walk straight into a villager's house without asking, look around, and leave whenever we want. In the real world, entering or remaining on someone else's property without permission can constitute trespassing depending on the circumstances and local law. And if we decide we don't want the house anymore, we can just tear it apart block by block. Deliberately damaging someone else's property can constitute offenses such as mischief or criminal property damage, depending on the jurisdiction. Or, instead of breaking the house apart ourselves, we can grab a flint and steel and set the whole thing on fire. Deliberately setting someone else's property or building on fire is what we generally associate with arson. We can also just walk up to a villager and attack them without any justification. If this were a real person, intentionally using unlawful physical force against them could constitute assault. Take it a step further and intentionally kill the villager, we're dealing with something much more serious. If this were a real person and killing met the legal requirements, it could potentially be murder. We don't have to stop at just one villager. We can wipe out an entire village in just a few minutes. If these were real people, intentionally killing multiple people would lead to extremely serious criminal consequences, with the exact charges depending on the circumstances. And I'd rather not talk about this last one.